Plaintiffs Chase Cisco and his father Randy say Chase was never really friends with the defendant's son, but he heard he was a wild card who liked to party. Chase claims the first time they ever hung out, they were both drinking, and he allowed the defendant to drive his truck. Randy's suing because the defendant's son crashed the vehicle. Defendants Kevin Francis and his son Dylan admit that Chase allowed Dylan to drive his truck, despite the fact that he'd been drinking. And after the accident, Dylan was arrested. Kevin refuses to pay Randy for anything because he gave Kevin an estimate that was dated prior to the accident.
All right, start with you.
I don't know much about Kevin or Dylan. All I know is what I've heard, and pretty much I haven't heard anything good. My son knows more about them, so I can let him explain the situation.
Go right ahead.
Never really hung out with Dylan before the situation. Actually, that was our first time hanging out. And he went to the same school as me, so I heard a little bit about him. I heard he was a little kind of a wild kid, liked to hang out and party and stuff. But I decided to give him a shot and hang out with him. So it was last summer, I went over to one of my buddy's house, and he was there, and they had 2 bottles of Fireball. So they wanted a drink, and so we all sat down and started hanging out, and we were all drinking, watching TV.
How old were you guys?
I was 17 at the time, Your Honor. And we were all drinking and hanging out, and at one point I kind of got over it and I fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up to Dylan, and he tapped me and he said, "Hey, can you take me to my girlfriend's house?" And I said, "I can't drive, I've been drinking." And he said, "I'm fine, I'll drive." And I said, "Do you have your license?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "All right." They wanted a drink, and so we all sat down and started hanging out, and we were all drinking. One point I kind of got over it and I fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up to Dylan, and he tapped me and he said, "Hey, can you take me to my girlfriend's house?" And I said, "I can't drive, I've been drinking." And he said, "I'm fine, I'll drive." And I said, "Do you have your license?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "All right."
Defendants Kevin Francis and his son Dylan are being sued because after a night of drinking, Dylan drove the plaintiff's truck, crashed it, and was arrested.
Okay, go ahead.
At one point, we were listening to music really loud, and one of my buddies turned around. He said, "The cops are behind us." And I guess at that point, it was too late. We were already in his girlfriend's neighborhood. He said, "I don't want to pull over in front of my girlfriend's house." So we sped up a little bit, went around the corner too fast, hit a mailbox, and then pulled over. At this time, there was 3 cop cars behind us, and they all got out and pulled their guns out and said, "Put your hands out the window." So we all proceeded to put our hands out the window, and Dylan grabbed some water, and he's drinking it because they're probably gonna breathalyze him. I'm sure that's what was going through his head.
The police let him grab something?
That's why we were all telling him, "Put your hands out the window."
I'm just wondering, did they?
Mm-hmm. So he drank the water, and I told him, I was like, "Dude, this is all bad." And he said, don't worry, I got this handled. My dad will pay for anything." So I said, "Okay."
You told the police that too?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering. And did you know your son drank?
I don't condone his drinking, by no means. I frown upon it. I wasn't aware that he was drinking.
You ever caught him drinking?
I've never caught him drinking, but you know, he
How
does.
do you
He
drink?
does go out to parties, so I.
Occasionally.
We hear from you, young man. Why don't you tell me your side?
He's about right. There's a couple things wrong, but so happened we all decided to go to our mutual friend's house. There was already bottles there. I mean, he wanted a drink too. We all decided to drink. I wanted to go to my ex-girlfriend's house, and he gave me he said okay. I thought I was okay to drive, and on the way there, cops followed us. Music was really loud. We couldn't even hear him. It was too late. And then I was on my ex-girlfriend's street to pull over, and I didn't want to stop there. So I go to pull over, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm on my ex-girlfriend's street." And I run over the mailbox, and then go around the corner and pull over. And then we all got arrested.
Okay.
That's not correct. He didn't get arrested.
I wasn't arrested.
Did they test you for alcohol?
No, they did not.
And we all got put in a holding cell. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
They were all detained and they were all tested for blood alcohol.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't tested.
No, he wasn't.
I wasn't tested.
I actually got a phone call from the cop that was on duty that day, and they said
How
that
did he know
I
you?
could come
I gave
He
him,
gave him the number.
I gave him the
Oh,
information.
gotcha.
Yeah, because they weren't gonna detain him, but the car was in an accident, so they were gonna impound the vehicle, and he needed a ride home. So they said if I was in the area, I could come pick him up. Well, I was in San Diego, which is not in the area, and they weren't gonna wait around an hour for me to get there, so he had to go with them to the holding cell, and I picked him up there.
All right, so you're suing the father for what?
Basically, just the damages that was occurred from
Did you
running
speak
over
with
the
him about
mailbox.
it?
I don't know them.
Your son couldn't put
actually-
you in touch with him?
And we tried that, and I sent out, 2 packets that had all the information in it with, certified mail to get it to him with my phone number on it, cell phone number. Never received any phone call, no nothing. The first contact I had with him, I actually walked up to his door of his house in the evening, knocked on his door, and said, "Hi, I'm Mr. Cisco, Chase's father. I'm here to, see if we can take care of, the damages." And he just blatantly told me that, no, we couldn't take care of them. He thinks it's BS.
Sir, let me hear from you.
Sure, Your Honor. When I did receive 3 pieces of communication from the plaintiff, my contention with his accusation that this damage occurred in the incident, I believe to be false, because in the information that he sent me in his 3 letters, there is an estimate for repair dated 5/31/2012, which predates this incident, which took place on 7/29.
Who has that? Anyone have it?
I've got all 3 communication.
Let's see it, please.
I can even give you the letter that I gave to him with that packet.
Did you give
that
him something
explains
with an
that-
estimate that
Yes.
indicates it occurred before the accident?
Okay, the body shop that I dealt with, I wasn't aware. I didn't try to go after him for take it to the dealer, get dealer parts.
didn't say
get
that.
It, I didn't try to
He
do
said
that.
you tried to go
I took
after
it
him
to
for
a small
something that
body
happened
shop.
before.
Okay, the first contact I had with him, I actually walked up to his door of his house, knocked on his door, and said, "Hi, I'm Mr. Cisco, Chase's father. I'm here to, see if we can take care of, the damages." And he just blatantly told me that, no, we couldn't take care of them. He thinks it's BS.
Defendants Kevin Francis and his son Dylan are being sued because after a night of drinking, Dylan drove the plaintiff's truck, crashed it, and was arrested.
All right, go ahead.
I took it to a small body shop that the body shop went on hard times, and the guy had a program that in his computer that he did estimates on, that he had to pay a monthly fee of $300. Okay, I gave him a letter in one of the packets that stated this from the body shop, that they stopped their computer program that dates all their estimates, that does all their estimates
May
for 'em.
31st?
They stopped that date, and every estimate that they did from then on was that date.
Mark for that, and you have
Exactly.
something indicating that?
Yes, I have a letter from him that states that in
And you said it's because they didn't pay their bill.
the body shop. No, they pay their bill, but the body
it,
shop stopped paying the licensing fee for the program.
Yeah, they stopped paying it.
They ran
And
on
so
hard times.
every
too.
estimate they gave from
From
there
then
on out
said May
said
31st.
the date which they stopped paying
Correct.
their bill.
I know it's not
Yeah,
good,
they
but
fell on hard times for sure. This is
I
something.
didn't know this when I went to the body
All
shop
right.
in the first place. so.
Young man, what damage was done? You're the one that was driving.
I don't know the damage. All I did, there was a big lifted truck with the roll cage in the front, and I just hit a mailbox, and that's all I
You
know.
never looked at the damage?
No, I was arrested right away.
Pardon me?
I was arrested right away. I couldn't look at the damage.
They backed them up backwards to
Yeah,
the
like-
cop car and put them in the cop car.
You
So
saw the damage.
I saw the damage when I went to pick the car
Right.
up. Yeah.
And what was it you saw again?
There was a headlight that it's like a halo headlight.
All right, the biggest part here, as is always the case, is labor.
Right.
And the parts were $448. This sounds
Right.
reasonable. All right, and sir, why don't you think you should have to pay?
I don't think I should have to pay because I don't believe that the damages are correct. I think that they're fraudulent and that they were pre-existing and they're trying to take advantage of this incident to have us fund the repair bills of their vehicle.
So you don't even believe your son. That's what you're saying. You don't
I believe him.
him.
I mean,
Well, he said he hit something.
no, he
said,
hit the mailbox. I've got a picture of the mailbox. He hit
Well, that's
something.
my point. He said he did cause some damage.
There may have been some damage incurred as a result of
That's what I
this
want to hear.
incident.
He's very clear on what he said occurred.
Well, they had a grill guard, so my assumption would be there might be some damage to a bumper, maybe the headlight. That may be accurate. Anything more than that, I would question.
Well, that's all they listed here.
Okay.
It says $2,000.
In the police report and in the towing, here's the tow company that listed the damages
All right.
that they saw from the accident, and they had to list that to take it into the impound.
All right, now you're talking.
And just so you know, in February, I had the truck totally redone. The February before the accident. So 3 months before
I'm
the
just gonna
accident,
go with what this
I
says.
had it totally redone.
In relation to the estimate you received, the damage described by the tow company when they came to pick your car
Yeah,
up
it accurately
is
describes it.
described in the estimate. So I'm going to accept that. You say you never knew that your son ever drank, though.
No, I said that I'm sure that he has. I'm not naive as a parent. I don't condone him drinking in any way, shape, or form.
You ever had to punish him for drinking?
I've never had to punish him for drinking, no. I'm sure that he has.
But you never
I've
discovered.
I've
You ever
never
discovered your
caught
son
him.
drank?
Yes, sir.
All right, see? Your son, well, I drink occasionally. I know it's more than that. Occasionally to him means every weekend, no doubt. How often do your buddies drink? Be honest.
Every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. You guys 17. My sons drank. I gave them the drink test. You know the drink test? Tell the parents that. You kiss them when they come in. Hey, come give me a kiss. You smell it. Oh, you don't?
Thanks for the tip.
There you go. And I'd punish my son.
Defendants Kevin Francis and his son Dylan are being sued because after a night of drinking, Dylan drove the plaintiff's truck, crashed it, and was arrested.
I'm going to give you a little break and conclude that you've contributed to these damages because you should have known that your son drank, and therefore you should not have allowed him to have the car with some buddies that you did not know. You did know he was taking your car, right?
It's his car
So why are you the one doing all the talking?
because my name's on the title.
Well, it's your car. Boy, you just...
Technicality.
I'm taking $500 off of this judgment, sir. You should have known what your son was into, whether he ran around with a bunch of drinkers, and so I'm going to punish you for not knowing what your son is up to. 2073 minus 500.
1573.
All right, and that's under the legal theory of contributory negligence. And you were negligent in not knowing what your son was into. He's very upfront, says, yeah, I know my son drank. And that's why he knows he's going to pay for it. And by the way, you should have allowed him to sue your son because your son can be sued and liable as a 17-year-old. He just doesn't have to pay it until he's 18. How old are you now?
18.
18. But you got to pay $1,573 is your judgment, sir. You sued the dad, so the dad has to pay you, not the son. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you. You know, it was a terrible thing that happened. Wish it wouldn't have come to this, but we've got it resolved now, and I'm happy it's over with.